Recently, the UFC Featherweight division got some news, and so did us, the MMA fans. Next up in the Featherweight division, Max Holloway will be earning his rematch against Alexander Volkanovski for the world title, meaning all of the people in the Featherweight division need to start changing some of their plans, because for a long time, it's been everyone asking for a title shot, and now that we've heard the news that they're going to go ahead with the Volkanovski-Holloway rematch, all of those people calling for a title shot are going to have to start fighting some of their neighbours to find out who gets the next title shot once Holloway and Volkanovski rematch takes place. And I'm going to tell you what happens with the rest of the division, because there's been a lot of talk recently about potential fights being announced. Nothing official yet, just a whole bunch of rumours. I want to go through the entire division. First of all, we know Volkanovski versus Holloway is the rematch that's taking place. I understand it completely. Holloway was a defending champion. If you're going to give Cody Garbrandt a rematch, you give Max Holloway a rematch. If you're going to give DC a rematch, let alone a trilogy, you give... Oh, if you're going to give Stipe a rematch, you give Max Holloway a rematch as well. I mean, both guys, defending champions, you've got to follow the rules. Give him a little bit of a chance. And I also like the move of Holloway getting a rematch, because I feel like all of Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez, Korean Zombie, and Zabit Magomedsharipov are one fight away from a title shot. And I want to tell you what that fight is, and what that fight is to make. A lot of people are talking about recently Brian Ortega versus Zabit Magomedsharipov taking place next. Brian Ortega even said that he'll take the fight as long as it's on 5 rounds. Smart Brian Ortega. Smart Brian Ortega, because he knows, and everyone knows, that Zabit can't go longer than 3 rounds. And I'll be honest with you, Chael Sonnen's talking about this, and he says he doesn't see the problem with Zabit's cardio. He probably doesn't watch Zabit's fights. I tell you, I love Chael Sonnen, but sometimes, like, he was on his Zabit video with Zabit and Ortega talking about how, I don't understand how Zabit hasn't earned a title shot yet. I can tell you how, Chael. He beat Jeremy Stephens and Calvin Kattar. Okay? They're ranked number 9 and 8. Those aren't title elimination bouts, okay? Zabit is 1 fight away from a title shot. Ortega is 2. Depending on how good the performances are, he could come out and get a first, I don't even know, the fastest knockout in UFC history of 3 seconds. And then all of a sudden we're talking about him for a title shot. Who knows? But Brian Ortega is about 2 fights away from a title shot. Yair Rodriguez needs 1 more. Korean Zombie needs 1 more. So does Zabit. Maybe 2 if it's Zabit. Because right now, the UFC rankings online are complete bullshit. They have Zabit at number 3, which makes 0 sense. It makes absolutely no sense. I think they have Zabit at number 4. I don't even know what they're doing with their rankings right now, because I'm looking at rankingmma.com and UFC rankings featherweight, and it is telling me the perfect rankings for the division. Volkanovski number 1, Holloway number 2, Brian Ortega number 3, Yair Rodriguez number 4, Korean Zombie number 5, Zabit number 6, Edgar number 7. I like those rankings, okay? I'm going to go with next. I don't want to see Ortega versus Zabit Magomedsharipov. You know what I want to see? I want to see Zabit versus Yair. Why is this fight not being talked about? Zabit versus Yair is always the fight to make, okay? I don't understand why they even went with Zabit versus Kattar. They should have done the fight then, but now we're in a perfect situation. Both guys have beaten similar opponents. Yair Rodriguez is in a better position because he beat the Korean Zombie, even though he lost 4 rounds and a half of that fight. He beat the Korean Zombie. That's a better win than anything Zabit has on his record. Yair Rodriguez versus Zabit Magomedsharipov is the fight to make next 100%. And I want to see the Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega, because there's story to it. They were supposed to fight before. It was an intriguing fight then. Let's remake that same fight. What I don't want to happen is, I don't want Zabit to fight Ortega, and then we're just left with a Rodriguez versus Korean Zombie rematch. Because as much as I would love to see that fight again, I want to see fresh matchups. Okay? I don't want to see these guys rematch each other so soon. You know? Korean Zombie lost to Yair Rodriguez 3 fights ago. That's not a long time. Let's not rematch these guys too quickly. Let's do Yair Rodriguez versus Zabit Magomedsharipov and the Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega. And we'll see who does it better. I feel like that's the best system right now. A quick semi-finals before we give the next title shot out. Because who knows what's going to happen. Moving on. Frankie Edgar's moving down to bantamweight. Move him out of the rankings. Renato Moicano's moving up to lightweight. Move him out of the rankings. Calvin Kattar's fighting Jeremy Stephens. And that is all we know. That is all we know. And then Everything below number 10 is a complete mystery to us. You've got Josh Emmett and Arnold Allen. Emmett's number 11, Allen's number 13. You were going to give Arnold Allen the fight after he beat Gilbert Melendez when he was ranked number 15 or 16. Now he's just won again against Nick Lentz. Give him the fight and reschedule him versus Josh Emmett. It's a great fight. Both guys are injured right now, so you give both of them a little bit of time off. Have them fight each other in the middle of the year. Josh Emmett versus Arnold Allen sounds like an amazing fight to me. Make it happen. It was intriguing the first time. It'll be more intriguing the second time because now Arnold Allen's even better at 7-0 instead of 6-0 before. Amazing. Shane Burgos is number 12. And Sadiq Yusuff is number 14. I don't want to see those two face each other next because what I want to see is Shane Burgos versus Ryan Hall. And let me just look up the official UFC rankings real quick because I feel like they have Sadiq Yusuff ranked, which would make no sense. But I'm not too sure. They might have Sadiq Yusuff ranked still. Do they actually have him ranked? Okay, they have him at number 15. They moved Arnold Allen above him and Ryan Hall above him. Why is everyone giving Ryan Hall such good credit? Ryan Hall beat Darren Elkins. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure why Ryan Hall's ranked so highly, but either way. The fight I want to see next is Shane Burgos versus Ryan Hall. You've got number 12 versus number 13. Makes every level of fucking sense to me. I'm looking forward to that fight. That fight needs to happen next. And I want Sadiq Yusuff to take on a recent guy that should definitely be in the rankings. Dan Ige. I feel like Yusuff shouldn't be in the rankings and Dan Ige should. Okay? I don't know why. But that's just how I feel. Yusuff shouldn't be there. Ryan Hall questionably shouldn't even be there either. Like I don't understand the rankings for the featherweight division. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that Casey Kenny's ranked again at bantamweight. He's 2-0. I don't understand. Either way, focused on the featherweight division. Shane Burgos versus Ryan Hall is the fight I want to see happen next. I think it's an intriguing style matchup. I'd love to see it. Striker versus jiu-jitsu guy. The striker's bigger. He's got great wrestling as well. That sounds like an amazing fight to me rather than Darren Elkins and guys like this. A very winnable fight for Shane Burgos as well. I also would like to see Sadiq Yusuff versus Dan Ige. That's what I want to see next. Both guys coming off big wins on the main card of pay-per-views in the featherweight division. Put them up against each other in the middle of the year. Dan Ige versus Sadiq Yusuff. One's 5-1 on a 4-fight win streak. One's 4-0 on a 4-fight win streak. Perfect timing. Let's see who's the better guy. And let's see who's going to stick around in the featherweight rankings. That's what I want to see next. And then moving on throughout the division. Masad Bektik should take on Cub Swanson. No, he shouldn't. Masad Bektik should not take on Cub Swanson. Don't listen to a word I say. Masad Bektik's coming off 2 losses in a row. Kron Gracie only takes big names, it would seem, because he's not taking on any bum in the UFC, let's be real. I feel like what they might end up doing is Kron Gracie versus Masad Bektik. I know that would be retarded, but it may be a thing that happens. And it does worry me that something would happen like that, but I feel like they're going to go with Masad Bektik versus Kron Gracie. I don't know why. I've just got a hunch about it, you know? And I feel like they're going to do Cub Swanson versus I don't even know what they're going to do with Cub Swanson. Maybe Cub Swanson versus Charles Jourdain. Something like that would be quite fun. Then Hakeem Dawodu can take on Bryce Mitchell, which is a fight I'd love to see. Make those fights. It's so easy. I don't know why everyone at featherweight's waiting around right now. We've got the green light that Max Holloway is going to be taking on Volkanovski in a rematch. Everyone get fucking going, okay? Who knows when that rematch is going to be? As soon as we find out when the rematch is set for, I want every featherweight to start signing fights because otherwise they're going to get left in the dust. It is a battle in the top 5 of relevance. Whoever has done the most from now until the time that Holloway vs Volkanovski has taken place is going to get the title shot. So I'm done with all of this sitting around saying I deserve the next title shot. Wow, I want this. Eliminate options. Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega. Yair Rodriguez versus Zabit Magomed Sharipov. Calvin Kattar-Stevens is happening. Josh Emmett, Arnold Allen. Shane Burgos versus Ryan Hall. Dan Ige versus Sadiq Yusuff. Cub Swanson versus Charles Jourdain. Hakeem Dawodu versus Bryce Mitchell. Make these fucking fights and let's have some fun in the division. Okay? I also want to see Herbert Burns versus Sean Woodson. I think that would be quite fun as well. Just to throw out another name for the sake of it, you know? Jesus. Ricardo Ramos versus Grant Dawson would be quite fun as well. Especially seeing as Chaz Skelly has now had to pull out of his fight. You know? Simple. It's common sense, really, when you think about it, breaking down these matchups. I don't know why anyone would want to see Brian Ortega versus Zabit next. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand the thought process behind it. But whatever. Sounds good. Everyone at featherweight needs one more win in a main event of a fight night. I want to see him go 5 rounds. I want to see him have their own event to build some hype. And then the winner of whoever does it better between Korean Zombie Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez and Zabit Magomedsharipov will get the title shot. If it's Yair and Korean Zombie that win, which I think it will be, then give it to Yair because he beat Korean Zombie. And then that's just the way the game works. People are going to hate on it and feel bad for Korean Zombie, but that's just the way it works. Goodbye. Like and subscribe. Click that button there. See you later.